When you're working on an application, because it can take a little bit of time to develop, you might get interrupted and be called away and have to access it and find it again. A couple different options. While you're in it, there is to the left, there's a little star to the left of the word project number and application. First, make sure you're in your application. Then you can click on that star, and when you click it, it makes it yellow and it real quick said added to favorites. This adds it to kind of a quick link. So then the next time that you log into the system and you're like, where did I put that, or how can I get back to that application without going through the whole process again? One of the options here is to the right of your name is a star, or to the left of the logout button. When you click that, it has My Favorites. And it will list, if you have done this in the past, you might already have some favorites from last year. They should be broken out into applications and then another header that says projects. If you have old ones in there, all you have to do is click that red X and it removes it from your favorites. But in this case, you can just click on it and it takes you right back to the application. Another option, if you saved it and you forgot to make it your favorites or you don't like the favorites, the other place that it can reside would be the same way that you got there in the first place. So from your main menu, you go to your open grant, which is 2017 EMPG. This takes you to the account screen, the projects tab along the left. You can come down to applications. You'll notice other things in there, like your notice of interest would be there. But to go to your application, click applications. It shows up in the list. You click it and it shows up there. And along the left-hand side, you've got your quick links of tabs. The form, remember there's multiple forms as part of the whole application, and documents. Documents also shows up down here. It's the same thing, though we do recommend that you get familiar with this section, this tab, because depending on how many documents you upload, once you hit 9 or 10, they stop showing up down here, and they'll only show up here. So we want to make sure everyone's familiar with the Documents tab over on the left-hand side. If your application were to be returned to you for corrections, or if you're like me, forgot to add the documents, then you will be notified in an email, and it will also show up in the notes section here of why it was returned to you. How do you print your application after you're done with it? Or not even after you're done with it, especially in these work plans. You know, if you're having a hard time reading through that, then you come up here, it's not obvious, but there is a circle with an upside down triangle, and you can say print page and say entire form, and it'll bring up your entire application that you can print. So I want to point that out. How can I look at previous years? Let's take a minute and do that. I'm going to go back to the home screen because everything lives there. I would recommend from your main home screen, If you type in just the name of the grant, like EMPG, I'll do this once for HMEP also. So EMPG, you'll see you've got both 17 and 16 there. You're at the My Home. You can click 16. This takes you to the account. Projects tab, Applications. And this brings you to your previous year's application. You would click on Form, and then you could go through and look at each item. How they broke it down, how you had your application, your justification, your action steps. Also, if you were wondering about your documents, you can go to Documents. You can click on each of these, and it will open. So you'll see those different forms or different documents that you uploaded. If you're wanting to print it, again, you can come up here and do the print page. Make sure you click Entire Form. When it says Entire Form, it's saying every single one of those subforms. The other option, you can click the Generate Flattened Application and Worksheets. So the print page just gives you an automatic to print it. The Generate Flattened Application, if you do that, you click Continue. It says 15 minutes, and it may take up to that long. It'll send you an email link, and it formats it differently, and if I'm not mistaken, it might even put the documents in it. If you are working on forms and quit for the day, will it be there the next morning? Do you need to save even if not done? Yes, you definitely need to save even if you're not done. And as we went through that, let me go back into the one that wasn't done. You want to tackle it one form at a time, or one subform at a time. So when I say subform, it says form up at the top, and then, so introduction, you want to make sure you get through your introduction in one setting. Then it will, all these other forms will stay there along with this if you come back in 2 days. Then if you want to come in and you want to start working on your exercise plan, if you say no to EHP or yes, either way, and click Save, and then you add an objective and you click Save, that will be there the next day, but then you just need to remember to go back in and fill out the appropriate add an action step. You can add 2 action steps or 1 action step and click Save, and then it'll be there. But that's the important part of why we say make sure you go ahead and click yes or no here, and then save after almost everything that you've done. It might seem a little intense, but just because things happen with technology, and you go to click save one time and you've spent 20 minutes, and if something has called you away or you get timed out, it won't be there. So you have to click save. Make sure you click save. The other option, using a Word document, if you're more comfortable with Word, but even in Word, you're probably saving as you're typing. So very important to save often.